Now, are you guys going to appeal Cory's case? Is that?
Yes, we're going to appeal Cory's case. That is something that he is very adamant about doing. I'm looking to team up with a more experienced lawyer to actually do that, because I will have just recently had my baby and whatnot. But just like I was telling you about the team, I had a team of lawyers who worked with me while we were attacking the case. Postgraduates and a younger lawyer and whatnot, and doing all the research and doing the footwork. We'll be doing the same thing for the appeal, but we would love to have an experienced lawyer who has experience with the Court of Criminal Appeals and doing appeals of that nature.
What was your thought about the postponement of the sentencing hearing?
Well, it was a matter of scheduling. You had district attorneys who were going to be out of town and they weren't coming back. You have, I believe, Warwick, he was going to be out of town. And then you have my baby who's due any time. And you have Cory, who wanted to make sure I was able to be there. And you have so many different factors. And the court schedule was booked, and they had different things going on. Okay. The earliest availability for all lawyers and the court was in July.
Now, a lot of people see this, and I totally understand, and you're right about that. There's no denying you're going to be having your baby.
Goodness, right.
But the thinking, too, is this is going to be then after Vandenburg's trial.
Right.
So some people look at, do you think that could have any play into it potentially, maybe? I mean, just, are you open-minded to it?
I don't think in this scenario that had any play into it. The court had said it. As you can see, the court has been very adamant about getting this case knocked out and done and whatnot. I haven't heard of any involvement or some kind of scenario where that would help Mr. Batey at all or anything like that. I just think that everybody's out of town. It's the summer. People are going different places, and our schedule's conflicted. So
safe to say, at this point, you have not heard from the prosecution?
I have not heard from the prosecution.
Okay, and I know you've established that Cory would stick to what the truth is in his mind, which is that he doesn't remember anything.
Exactly.
But if they came to you and said, listen, we would like to maybe have Cory testify for us,
right,
and toward maybe the stuff that came after, the alleged cover-up and all that,
right,
they, for whatever reason, they thought it could help them. Is that something you might, you take it to him, but would you guys be open to it? Talk about that.
I would talk to, again, I would talk to Mr. Batey about it again, but there is nothing that Cory, in that window of time, that he knows. He has no memory. He has maintained his story has not changed from the first trial to the second trial to now. His story has not changed. He doesn't remember anything from when he went into an alcoholic blackout until he woke up the next morning. And I do not think that anything that happened the next day would aid the prosecution in prosecuting Vandenburg, because he doesn't remember anything during that time that is so important to them. And so I definitely, if they came and they said, hey, we want to know what happened afterwards in detail from Mr. Batey, well, you already have his transcript. You know what he would say and whatnot. I talked to Mr.
Sometimes putting him on the stand, if they see the real but would that be something you'd be open to potentially if Cory was, if they thought in return for that it would be taken into account at sentence?
Well, I don't think it could be taken into account. I mean
it helps.
It couldn't really help much. He's looking at a felony. It is a mandatory sentence and whatnot. I believe that his record alone, he has no record. And so I don't think it would help him any to even testify for them. I don't believe it would help him any. So I would take it to him, but I would seriously doubt that he would do that.
How did you feel about them charging him for not signing the sex offender registry?
That was probably the ultimate just form of bullying I've ever seen in my life. And it did nothing but support what he had been saying the entire time. I've been bullied. I've had people coming at me on every side. When they came to him on a Friday, and one person came and said, hey, sign this registry. And he said, hey, I want to talk to my lawyer. And the very next day is a Saturday. Two officers come to him and throw some statutes in front of him and say, sign it. He says, I just want to talk to my lawyer. Well, at this point in time, and what they've shown him is that, hey, you can be prosecuted for this, which is they showed him a statute that shows he could be prosecuted for this. He asked for his lawyer, and now his Fifth Amendment right has been violated. His Fifth Amendment right is violated. He already is under a pending case. He has a Sixth Amendment right to counsel. So he has a Sixth Amendment right to counsel and a Fifth Amendment right to counsel. And these officers just blatantly disregarded that. They disregarded his right to counsel. And so we will be following up with complaints against those officers, it was dismissed, and rightfully so, because he never said, I'm not going to sign. He just said, I want to speak to my lawyers about it.
And the complaints you're talking about is just to complain about the behavior and the way they treated him.
Exactly, and violating his right to counsel. You cannot violate his right to counsel at that time frame. There's no way you can come to him and say, sign this and do this, and if you don't, we'll put you in jail. Well, he's already in jail. We'll put more charges on you. And he never says, I'm not going to do it. He only said, can I speak to my lawyer? It was a Saturday. They charged him on Monday morning with that. They went and got him out of bed and took new booking photos and everything. And I just felt it was just a form of bullying and trying to get this man in a different light and show him how he looks in jail with his new booking photos. And it was just, oh God, it was worthless and pointless.
What do you think of the sentence, the potential of the sentence, how much time he potentially faces for that?
Well, again, I do not believe, again, with his record, things of that nature, we know that ag rape carries a mandatory sentence of 15 years, 15 to 60 at 100 at that A felony. And
what do you think?
I don't believe I don't know, but he has no record. He has nothing going on in his life. I don't think the judge would give him the max. But again, you just never know. He does have it hanging over his head. Nor do I think the judge would stack them. I think it would be ran concurrent or whatever it is. But again, you just never know. So we will be doing our best at sentencing hearing to put on and again show the judge exactly what kind of boy he is and who he is and whatnot, and just praying that the judge, which I know he will follow the sentencing guidelines and